Right, so I've been fighting about with this GD95 drone for a few hours now, and I've figured a few things out. Number one, you've got to calibrate it. I was trying to calibrate it on my takeoff pad. Well, it's not perfectly level, and I was having problems. So I'm going to tell you what I did. I put the drone on the floor, right there, just in front of my curtain, right? And I didn't change the settings on the the obstacle avoidance. I just let it at default when I started it up, and I did the calibration. Did the geomagnetic calibration, which is turning it clockwise and then pointing the nose down and turning that clockwise. And then after I did that, I laid it flat and I did the gyroscope with it on the floor, right? So, and I set the remote control. I set the remote control on it to indoor mode. I pressed the GPS button, which is that button, to set it to mode. Hang on, just let me turn it on a minute. Right, so I pressed this button here. Oh, you can't do it while the drone's not on. Oh well, anyway, I set it to indoor mode, right? After I did that, I remember I did the calibrations with this button here, which is the magnetic compass and then the gyroscope. I did that. Then I unlocked it. I used the control stick to try to start it up. Now it wouldn't start up because it's pointing at the curtain and the obstacle avoidance started to beep, so it was telling me it was too close to the curtain, right? So I turned the drone around like that, and I pointed it so the obstacle avoidance was pointing in that direction, which is all the way down there, right? I did exactly the same thing. I unlocked it, I took off, I pressed the joystick up, and it actually took off, right? So it actually worked, and it wasn't beeping at me all the time. It wasn't going beep, beep, beep all the time. So also, when I tried to do it with it pointing at the curtain, when it was pointing at the curtain, it was tried to take off, and it was giving me error beeps, and it was basically telling me it couldn't take off because the obstacle avoidance was preventing it. So that definitely works, right? Anyway, when I did take off from that position, it was very stable, and so I elevated up to about 2-3 feet, and then I landed it again, and then I took off again, and I landed it again, and it was a lot better than it was before, right? So it's definitely working properly if you calibrate it properly. And obviously I needed to calibrate it on the floor because that's level, whereas this thing wasn't perfectly level. I thought I got it level, but the trouble is there's too many bumps on here and it's easy not to get it level. I don't know why it didn't want to calibrate on there, but it didn't. But once you get it calibrated on there, I could move it to my platform and take off from there. So yeah, just some tips anyway. So it does work, but I haven't flown it anywhere because, well, I haven't got much room in here and there's too much stuff around, and I'm just worried about damaging it. But I just thought I'd mention what I found out. So the main thing is, with the obstacle avoidance on, it starts up in that mode already, so you don't have to press the button on the remote control to activate it because it's already activated, and you only press the button on this button, hold it down. You only hold that button down to turn it off, or after you've turned it off you hold it down to turn it back on again. So that's why I was getting really confused actually with it, but it does seem to work normally if you just power it up, calibrate it and start it up that way, because it wasn't beeping at me all the time in the indoor mode. So I figured that out. But the reason I'm not filming it, well, I just want to explain it, because I can't really talk while I'm flying it, and it's, yeah, you've got to focus on what you're doing. So I just wanted to explain it without actually flying it, because I can't focus on too many things at the same time at the moment. So I did actually back into that cardboard a little bit. So down on that box there's a bit of cardboard down on the floor. I did back into that a little bit, but no damage. Yeah, seems to be alright, because I was going up and down, you see. I went up, took off, landed, took off, and it was, each time I did that it went back a bit. So anyway, it just seemed to be okay, but it just seemed to be balanced alright. Anyway, just a short video, because these videos get too big if I keep on talking too long. Bye for now.